What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and this is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. And in Canada, I paid nearly $3,000 for this phone. It just arrived today, and it is in the silver shadow color. So just go ahead and unbox this phone. You take a look at the box, there's nothing really much included aside from the phone itself. And compared to last year's pricing, it is a little bit more expensive, with the base model coming in at 256 gigabytes. As someone who checked out the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra as well as the S25 Edge, I'm going to talk about how this phone stacks up against the current market of flagship folding phones, whether it is worth the money and if I'm going to keep it, and how they can improve upon this device that finally saw some objective updates from the previous generation, where we kind of felt like Samsung was a bit behind when it comes to folding smartphone innovation, despite being one of the earlier adopters of this trend. I also want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, AI Pi, and their AI Pi Lite, which I'll be talking about later in this video, and also giving away one of them to you guys, along with a free 1-month subscription. All you have to do is go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts of the AI Pi Lite, as well as your Instagram username, and make sure you follow both myself and AI Pi on Instagram, and a member from my team will contact you in a few weeks. So for starters, when it comes to hardware, it is beautiful. And last year, we kind of just saw a spec update, and compared to phones from Oppo and from Honor, Samsung was far behind in terms of creating the thinnest phone. And I know it's not all about the thinness, but what I've commended a lot of these brands on is the fact that they've been able to make incredibly thin phones with essentially zero compromises. And Samsung this year has come out with a device that really contends as one of the thinnest on the market at just 4.2 millimeters unfolded and under 9 millimeters when folded. And I mean, you take a look at just how beautiful it is, and it reminds me of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge, which, despite it being undeniably well designed and sharp, it had compromises. And in some ways, that is the situation that we have right here. But sticking to the hardware element of it, this phone has a nice squared off edge that we see around that is similar to what we see on the S25 Edge and the whole S25 lineup. And I really like how it takes advantage of every inch of its space. And on the front, you have a 6.5 inch display that has a 1080 by 2520 resolution. And on the inside, when unfolded, it gives you an 8 inch 1968 by 2184 resolution display that is in a square aspect ratio. And I have to say, this phone though just feels really solid in the hand, and compared to a phone like the Honor Magic V5, which is just like such a smudge thinner because of its curvature, I actually feel like this phone feels a bit thicker, but it's easier to grip. It doesn't have like the ridges that taper in the middle, but with that being said, I also find it a bit harder to open. It feels really durable, probably one of the most durable hinges that I've experienced, but it's sort of like that fridge door or appliance door that's just a little bit hard to open. It has a bit of stiffness to it, and time will tell as to whether or not it'll become easier to open, but it's just something that I noticed. But in terms of hardware, I think they've done some really good things here. And on the back, you have a triple camera setup as well, which follows the same design scheme as the rest of the S25 lineup. I will say though, it is a big bump, and we talked about that the S25 Ultra had a fake ring and it didn't really have to be there. It just kind of accentuated the camera sensors, whereas the S25 Edge obviously had to go with this kind of design, and we've seen that once again here, where the elements do rise quite a bit, but due to the 2-layer design, it is hidden a bit in a way as well. But as you put it on the table, this phone is just completely lopsided. It doesn't balance at all, and I don't really like that. I think that is where the square and circular placement of the cameras seen on some of the leading Chinese phones at the moment seem to make a lot of sense, where one element of glass houses all of the cameras within, which is not only good for balancing it and just, taking it in and out of your pocket a little bit smoother, but at the same time, less dust and stuff can get stuck in between each camera element. So I would say this isn't my favorite type of design. When it comes to the display, it is beautiful. And on the front, you have a tall design that gives you a lot of space for scrolling, but at the same time, it is close enough to the aspect ratio that you're used to on a daily smartphone. I love the squared edges to it, and I feel like that is kind of my preference at the moment. A flat, squared edge device that allows me to take advantage of the space, but also for usability and the way you grip the phone, it is very comfortable. It's a dynamic OLED screen, so whether you're enjoying multimedia, using it for productivity, scrolling through documents and timelines, being able to see things better and take advantage of the 8-inch main screen, the crease is also something that is very well hidden within. And I mean, the camera's right here on one side, but otherwise, when it comes to consuming content, it is a pretty unbeatable experience. You have a peak brightness of 2600 nits, and I mean, from Samsung, you expect the display to be amongst the best on the market, and this definitely lives up to it. As for the specs, it is powered by a Snapdragon 8 Elite with an Adreno 830 GPU, up to 1 terabyte of storage, and up to 16 gigs of RAM. And performance is something that you're not going to have to worry about with this device. It is able to power through, it's able to run really nicely, and whether you are using this device for productivity, which I feel like a lot of power users take advantage of with all of the Samsung features, one thing that might be a big factor to some people is that this year's device does not support the S Pen anymore. So if you wanted to use a large display and stylus, take notes, do drawings, the Samsung Z Fold 7 is not compatible with that. So on the topic of tech and mobile AI, I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, AI Pi and their AI Pi Lite. This right here is a companion device that is really good for testing out different AI models, being able to use it for both tutoring, coaching, and companionship, and allows you to try the power of AI in a very portable form factor like this and load different AI agents depending on what you need. If you take a look at the form factor itself, it has a little screen, a couple of buttons, and you can also attach and detach the battery, but the form factor itself is something that can fit in your pocket, and it is dedicated to bringing AI with you everywhere. You can stick it to anywhere such as your refrigerator, mirror, phone stands, photo frames, trash cans, etc., and just have it with you everywhere. Some of the key features include a voice clone as well as a personality factory, and you can also load different AI agents, and in this example, I actually have a travel agent built in, so I can go ahead and ask it questions as to where I should go, as well as planning a trip itinerary for me, some of the key landmarks. And I think the reason why this is so powerful for testing different AI agents and models is you can switch between Amazon Bedrock, Azure OpenAI, Google Gemini, and by having the options between different AI models, it allows you to figure out which one is the best for different applications. You can clone voices or choose from 35 different presets, and it can remember the preferences and conversations for seamless integration. Hello? Where would you like to travel or learn about today? I can provide information on tourist attractions and local specialties. Let me know your destination. It is an expandable and modular ecosystem that allows you to apply it to all different use cases, as well as different personalities, profiles, and it covers work, life, and creation. So whether you want to bring this with you and take advantage of AI features built into such a small form factor, this is a really good entry into AI. So let's just go ahead and have a very conversational, real-world test of the travel agent that I have loaded on to my AI Pi Lite. Hello?
Hello. Where would you like to travel or learn about today? I can tell you about local tourist attractions and specialties anywhere in the world.
Can you tell me some of the tourist attractions in Singapore, as well as some of the specialties as to where I should go to eat and some of the best hotels in the area?
Absolutely. Here's a quick guide to Singapore's top attractions. Must-try local specialties, recommended places to eat, and some of the best hotels. Top tourist attractions in Singapore 1. Marina Bay Sands iconic hotel with a sky park, infinity pool, shopping, and stunning views. 2. Gardens by the Bay futuristic gardens featuring the Super Tree Grove and Cloud Forest.
So as you can see, I was able to talk to it very casually, and honestly, I didn't really know what to expect from such a small and unique accessory like this. And honestly, I was really impressed, and from my personal experience of going to Singapore, it was spot on. So if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I'm going to drop a link down below. When it comes to the camera setup, it features the same main 200 megapixel camera that you find on the S25 Ultra with an f1.7 aperture, 24mm field of view, and it delivers great results. When it comes to taking photos, 200 megapixel resolution not only allows you to take everyday photos with the pixel binning at a lower resolution, but it also allows you to crop in quite a bit when it comes to trying to get that optical zoom or just taking a nice raw photo that allows you to reframe afterwards. When it comes to the secondary and the third camera though, it is a 10 megapixel f2.4 telephoto lens and a 12 megapixel f2.2 120 degree ultra wide. And even though the results are pretty decent, it is a step back from what you get on the flagship device. And I mean, at this price point, it just kind of has to check off every box, especially with the increase and also just what you're getting if you want to have more than 256 gigs of storage built into your device. But now it's kind of time to talk about some of the drawbacks of this device and maybe some of the corners that were cut in order to achieve extraordinary thinness. And we saw this on the S25 Edge as well. Being a phone that I feel like is very useful for productivity though, having the Fold, this beautiful sharp design that is very durable and just like, you know, very straight to the business. The battery is only 4,400 milliamp hours, which compared to the Honor Magic V5, which is even thinner by a hair, that has nearly a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. I feel like 4,400 milliamp hours is just the bare minimum when it comes to battery. For a phone lineup that has never been known for its extreme efficiency when compared to other models out there, I just feel like that is probably the biggest compromise. So at the end of the day, if you are looking for a Samsung ecosystem device that you enjoy, you're used to, you trust, and you want really nice hardware design, and you're someone who just likes to do general productivity, multimedia, but you don't necessarily drain an entire battery in a day, then this is definitely a phone that you want to check out. But at the same time, there are so few options on the market natively available in North America, and I think that's what's kind of wrong with the smartphone industry. A lack of innovation is still something that happens because of market restrictions, and as someone who checks out all smartphones from Vivo, from Honor, from Huawei, and from Oppo, I've just seen better options out there, and so it does make me a little bit more critical about what some of the leading brands that are natively available in North America are doing. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, but that was my honest perspective on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7.